What's going on out there, pod people? Welcome to Convincing Idiots. This is episode 233. This week, we are discussing all kinds of things in pop culture, including AI assistants. Are they ruining our self-sufficiency as we know it? Also, we're going to be talking about a big spill that's been going on primarily at Starbucks. You may have heard of it. And for our final segment, we will be discussing our personal Mount Rushmores of our favorite albums of all time. So, without further ado, let's start the show.
You guys enjoy your whatever that is.
All right. Test.
Test.
You call it again?
Convincing Idiots.
Convincing Idiots.
Called it ham gravy.
I informed them that I sided with the stat man, not just anyone's opinion, the stat man Brian Fisher.
These kids today.
Jingle All the Way is in fact the best Christmas movie of all time.
I need to get Grandma a present, and my herpes is flaring up. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, yo, yo. I'm the millennial
We're
Santa.
three friends representing three different generations. That's our whole shtick. That's our thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nick got the whole poop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing in the sea
Awesome.
breeze, holding a turd, just mightily. I'm just going hitting hats.
Anyway, on a lighter note,
Hey there. Welcome to the broadcast. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the vodcast. I mixed that up, but fuck, here we are. Welcome to the show. This is Convincing Idiots. My name's Dean. This is Eniel.
I'm Brian Gen X.
And I am your resident millennial, Nick. And we are Convincing Idiots, a weekly podcast of three friends representing three different generations. We get together here on a weekly basis to discuss all things nerd and pop culture. So, if you've not already done so, do yourselves and ourselves a favor and go find us
And your
on
grandmas.
all your favorite social media platforms. We are on the vast majority of them. You can find links to all of our social media accounts listed on our link tree. So go to Google and type in Convincing Idiots Linktree, LINKTREE. And there you can follow those links to all of our accounts. Be sure to like and subscribe and rate and review and all those fun things and interact with us in whichever ways you see fit. Other ways that you can support the show include buying merchandise. That's right. Convincing Idiots is here for your merchandising needs. Get you all swagged out with your favorite podcast. You can find a link to that as well on our link
You all heard,
tree.
yes, you all heard that.
Which we have a TeePublic. Lots of cool stuff on there, so check that out. We also have a website, which is convincingidiots.wordpress.com. You can find all the links that I just mentioned, as well as little biographies about us. There's so many fun things and ways for you to interact with us. There's other ways to support the show if you so choose. And as always, we appreciate your subscriptions and any interactions that you have with us via the World Wide Web. So we are joining you today, everyone out there, for episode. Some might say it's a milestone episode.
Most will.
Episode 233. That's a 233 is a big number.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you guys know this about podcasts, but most any podcast worth its salt, just it peters out easily by 232. So
Correct.
233. We have now arrived. I feel
Correct.
like. I don't have statistics in front of me, but it just feels right to say that.
Well, I do.
Yep.
And there is a small scope of an island off of Indonesia that
Mhm.
I did a study. I drove down there, and I
You
did
drove to Indonesia.
I did,
Okay.
and I drove there and did a study. And for that small island, the majority, probably about 68% of them, said that 233 is like mind blowing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
That any podcast could get to that. The rest of them said, "Fuck off! What are you doing on my island?"
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're clearly off to a great start, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, we are. And keeping this ball rolling,
What the fuck wouldn't we be? Come on,
Brian, what's going on, man?
Nice few days, so short week. So first of all, last weekend, the lovely Allie and
You
I
missed
did get
President's
out. Yes, right. We did get out on Saturday evening to this local spot on tap in Stowe, Ohio. Very good burgers, nice beer
That's a nice
selection
one.
there.
Yeah.
It is. It is. You don't see many of those around. It used to be more popular, but it's one of the last chain ones that I know is around here. But very solid. And then we wound up watching the University of Akron win the MAC men's basketball championship over Miami of Ohio. Very good game. Akron won. They were going into the NCAA tournament, so they'll play Friday evening. So the time this airs, we'll know if Akron won or lost. So some predict they may upset Arizona. So I guess we'll see. And then Monday, I had a great day with Mr. Dean here and Mike out in Medina celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Medina's a nice place to go. I mean, it's pretty low key, not a lot of crowds, but just enough to where it's fun. You get some, socializing and kegs and eggs. We had a very good place, PJ Marley's in Medina. Just a very nice, relaxing day.
How were the
Until we
eggs?
tried to take Mike home. We got a little lost getting turned around there, but
Sure.
yeah. But the eggs are very good. Eggs and
Good.
huge pancakes, Scotch eggs as well.
Eggs were good.
Nice.
Nice Conways for breakfast also. That was very good way to start the day for three growing young men.
That's right.
So that's right. So Nick, how are you, sir?
I'm good, man. Went out, did a little birthday celebration this weekend with my family and stuff, so that
Very
was fun. Went out
nice.
to my buddy's pizza shop out in Canton, Mike's
How
Pizza.
old are you now?
Had a lovely time. 37.
19?
37
Holy
years
shit.
old. That's
Wow.
right. It's getting to the point, guys, that we've done that. Well, it's not so much as
I
doing
remember
the
when
pod.
you were 36 and a half.
I know, right?
That's
I
wild.
don't. It was too far away. But no, it's weird because like we're to the point to where when we started this podcast, the idea, the term even in just 4 going on 5 short years ago, millennial was like a newer age, and I'm the millennial. And I always, even at the time, I remember being like, I don't
The
know.
old man.
I don't know if I really identify as like millennials. I feel like a younger kid than me, but I mean, I am. I fall into that age range.
You are the old millennial.
And now you see the term elder millennials and this and that, and millennials talking about things that are
Yeah.
much the way that Gen Xers have talked about things in the past. So it's kind of interesting to watch it in real time, be a part of that transition into being one of the olds. So it's I'm in my late 30s. So
Welcome.
yeah, appreciate it.
Welcome.
Yeah. But yeah, had some awesome pizza from Mike's shop there, and some delicious beers from Woodshop Brewing that is attached there as well. And then everybody came back here from ice cream for ice
Nick's
cream.
going to bring Brian and I to that pizza shop that he
Yeah.
raves so wildly
To do that.
about on a regular basis.
It's there it's not a secret.
But it's your friend. You should bring us to it, dickhead.
Okay. Well, it's open all the time. You're free to go. It's not actually. Don't
So was
try
my
to go on a month. Don't try to go on a Monday or Tuesday
So was
because
my
they're
pants.
they're not there. But yeah, no, it was a good time. So nice little hangout there, and I don't know. I don't really. What else? I don't. Oh well, it's just boring shit. I mean, I was productive. I had to go get cars e-checked and new license and
Yes.
or the stickers for the cars and then all that stuff. So, but yeah, that's it. Just lame, boring 37-year-old band shit.
Yeah.
Just kind of
You're an old dad.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's where
that's
we
it.
are. Yeah.
Mm.
So, Dean, what's new with you, man?
Well, unlike you, I am an exciting, youthful gentleman.
Yes.
I have so many things going on in my life. I can only name a few because it would be unfair to the public and to you two to just spout off all the amazing things happening in my life when so much like horse shit's happening in your guys's. So I will name a couple. One, I did in fact have a meaningful, terrific day drinking day with Brian. We watched an old man fall asleep on a park bench.
Nice.
Yep.
We drank beers in the AM. We tore it up on St. Patrick's Day. No, seriously. It was a good time. There was only 3 of us. It wasn't like the whole St. Patrick's Day we normally do. It was fun. It was just 3 of us guys. But we drank a lot of beer and we had a good time. Other than that, I'd like to say that today was my first day working with Nick.
That's right.
Very nice.
Reworking with Nick.
Reworking with Nick.
That's right.
Rework with Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Today was my first day, and it was beautiful, amazing. I had, I don't really say semi. I had a full erection every
I was
time.
gonna say you said semi. I was like boner.
Nope. A full on erection every time Nick walked by. It was a beautiful day.
Yeah. Even at the tender age of 37, I still got it.
You still got it, my friend.
Mhm.
Still got it.
Yep.
But yeah, drink a beer with Brian, working with Nick. That's all that's going on with me, baby.
There you
Yeah,
go.
pretty good. Pretty good. Well, speaking of drinking beer, what are you guys drinking tonight?
Oh, I am drinking a cold snap. Sam
Yeah, very
Adams.
good.
Nice. I've got a McClaney's, I believe. They just write from. I went to Wadsworth Brewing Company this evening, so McClaney's. It's their red Irish ale, and it's quite delicious. Very highly recommended.
I don't know if I've had that one. And
I
that
had that
good
the
old
other-
Conway's Irish ale again for me.
Nice.
Great Lakes. Yes,
There
still
you go.
plenty in the fridge.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful.
Keep you. When do they stop with the Irish? With the like? How long is it on the shelves for?
I think just now it's until it just runs out. I mean,
Like
you're
whatever's
pretty
out
already
there, is
right.
it?
A whole bunch.
Yep.
And then when they're done, they're done.
Yeah. It's like the Shamrock Shakes or whatever, and then like they've got what they got, and then after the day,
That's it.
it's cut off.
Right.
That's it. I ran to Acme this evening, and it was already off all the main displays. It's
Yep.
like springtime and shandies and shit like that now. So
Fuck that.
yeah, not my favorite. All right, well, Nick, have you seen anything since last week, or her, or whatever? Anything you want to recommend? Idiot reviews, sir.
I know I haven't seen anything. I'm going back in the depths of my mind if I've listened to anything new or anything like that.
Okay.
It's just been insane with baseball and
Sure.
scheduling and everything. It's just been lots of stuff. So no, I really haven't. I don't think I have. If I think of something, I'll come back to it. But
All right.
yeah. So Dean.
The only thing I saw was the Bill Burr stand-up special on the Hulu.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not his
Good.
best, but still goddamn hilarious. I love Bill Burr. I think he is our generation's like it comic, right? Like George Carlin or
He's certainly a marquee name, like a Chappelle or like he's the upper echelon.
What I'm not only putting him there, like, yes, he is that and he should be, but I'm saying like his point of view for like today's society. If you listen to his podcast, like he definitely has like that George Carlin-esque point of view. Like he looks outside of society in a way that that a lot of us that aren't like blessed with whatever fucking comic gene they have, right?
Right.
So I really think like this special here on Hulu wasn't his best. Like he's had better. But I still enjoyed it. I still enjoy his delivery. I still enjoy everything he represents and what he has. I think Bill Burr is honestly. Am I being too forward in this, guys? Like he's like the comic of our generation, as in
maybe I'd say one of them. I don't know if he's the one,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
certainly one of them.
I'd say I like
Dave
him in a
Chappelle's
general
up there
sense, but
for
he
me.
misses. He's hit or miss for me. There's a lot that he does that kind of misses me. That I'm like, whatever.
Well, but I'm telling you,
But-
listen to his like actual interviews. Like I'm talking
Oh
about.
yeah,
like,
for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I think he's. I mean, I like him, and I like what he does for the most part. But yeah, I mean, it's all subjective. But he's definitely
Sure.
one of those comics, like in present day, that is one. Like I said, just an upper echelon one, kind of like he's up there similar, and I don't like him as much as, but like Louis C.K. was for a while. Like he's kind of that guy.
Louis C.K. got hurt by that U2 movement.
Those damn
Or Me
Irishmen
Too, right?
coming here.
Me
Yeah, right. The damn Irishmen coming here making all that fun music
Me
for all
Too
the
movement, where he got in trouble for like whatever he did.
Yeah.
Which I think
actually, but I mean he's not gonna reach like the acclaim I don't think that he had like commercial success, but like me and my
would have if he would have gotten in trouble.
Yeah, but like he's still just as popular. Like he's coming to Cleveland, and me and my buddy were like, we're going. Like we were gonna buy tickets. Yeah, we were going to until we saw that like to sit in the nosebleeds is $200 because I was like, I'm down. He's like, me too. We're like, great, we're going. And then like he's like, dude, I looked up tickets, and it's like he's like, I thought he's like, we were both willing to pay like $80 a piece, but it was like a couple hundred. And we're like,
what is the irony that somebody will text, hey, I'd love to go to Louis C.K.'s show, and the response is, me too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, I've been
he just
watching...
didn't have good enough publicists. That's all. Because say other comics made full recoveries.
Fucking true as shit.
Yeah. Sorry,
Brian,
go ahead.
He didn't. I mean, I can get into a whole thing about it, but I won't. Fuck it.
I think his humor will make a resurgence there. He's too funny. But a couple things I just been watching this series wise. I mentioned them last week, but I keep watching them. Celtic City again on Max. 3 episodes now have dropped. Very good, interesting documentary about the Boston Celtics. And season 3, episode 3 ends with the Celtics drafting Larry Bird. So I'll be interested to see the next episode of that every Monday that drops, and finishing up Running Point. Again, that's the Netflix series with Kate Hudson. Very, very good. Very, very good. She's great. It's a funny sports comedy. And Allie and I just finished up season 1 of St. Dennis on, you can see it on Peacock or on demand. Just very, very good. One of the better one of the better sitcoms, period, that I've watched in some time. Just, it's got all those things happening with great acting, writing, interesting characters, some nice moments. Just shot like a documentary, but in a hospital. So just very good. If you want to just a funny show, 20-some minutes, go check that out.
Scrubs and The Office.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Very, very good. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's about all I've seen over the last week. So
I'm fully caught up on SNL because as much as like I loved all the 50th stuff they did, it really put us back. I like to watch things in sequence, so I had to watch like the 3-hour-long concert, and then I had to watch like the 2.5-hour-long 50th anniversary special, and then I had like the last 2 weeks to catch up on. So that's what I've been watching. I'm fully caught up on SNL. So, but very much enjoyed all that. I loved the 50th anniversary special that they kind of just mishmash different sketches and characters over the years together and stuff like that. So it was definitely very cool. So everything that I've watched is, I mean, I've been a fan of Saturday Night Live since I was like, I don't know, like 10 years old. And like, so there's so many characters and so many things, and even stuff that was before my time that I've gone back and watched that I was really impressed. I'm like, man, they really did a good job of like paying homage to so much. Like there weren't really many characters or bits or performances or even big musicians that I didn't feel like weren't excluded from everything. You know what I mean? Like they really did a good job at some point or another of getting a little bit of, I felt like, everything in there. So
yeah, it was good. And the concert was very good. The concert was very good.
Sure.
As well.
And I love that too, that it wasn't just a concert. It was, they did the little the live montage of all the Lonely Island songs, and work different people into that and stuff. So yeah, it's just really, really good.
Agree. Excellent. All right, guys, we're going to take a break, and we'll come back with some pop culture headlines in our Ask an Idiot segment, and we'll bring that to you right after this. Gen X Brian here from the Convincing Idiots podcast. If you're enjoying our show, tell a friend. And if you're not, well, tell 2 enemies.
3.
All right, welcome back to Convincing Idiots, segment 2, episode number 233.
It's a lot of episodes.
Wow, that's a
It is.
lot.
Do you know what beef tallow is, Nick?
Beef
When I did Nick's
tallow.
mom.
Beef tallow.
Beef tallow. Is that a delicacy in which is a talon of a large hawk or bird creature, and it's the beef that comes from their talon, their foot meat?
Not quite.
Okay.
Not quite. So, beef tallow is the fat that remains after meat is boiled.
From the foot,
Oh.
from the talon, from a bird foot.
So that's why
Well,
my
it could
mom
be-
said back in the 80s, because we didn't have a shower, we don't have baths. She's like, go get in the beef tallow, you motherfucker.
Yeah. So if you take some
Gotcha.
hamburger or something, if you would, boil it in a
Mhm.
pot or something like that, the
No, I
fat
was the
that would
beef.
boil off
I
of
was
it.
the fat
Huh?
beef. I was the fat
Right.
beef. She didn't even add shit.
hmm
She just fucking cut up celery like Bugs Bunny in a goddamn pot.
I think somewhere, if I recall correctly, at the beginning of the episode, we suggested that episode 233 would just be some type of new level of
You just
entertainment.
don't
And
Yeah.
understand.
maybe
You
it's up.
just
Maybe it's
don't
236.
That's
Maybe we misunderstood.
maybe let
236.
this beef tallow give it some time to stew a bit. Let it give
Yeah.
it some time to marinate.
Yeah, 236 to 266.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. So anyway, so beef tallow, influencers now, it's amazing what influencers online can do in social media, what they can promote and get people to do. So there's a new trend out there that influencers claim that beef tallow has health and beauty secrets, notably to put it on your skin.
Okay. So what does it do? Rejuvenate it? Does it like make it less
So
wrinkly? Or is it a wrinkle reducer? But
it's supposed to help with dry skin, help, some people claim it clears up acne. I don't know. So what do you think about the idea of putting beef tallow on your skin, Nick?
Well, it doesn't initially sound like something enticing, but I do get super ashy in the winter, and there is a part of the very middle and most part of my back that I can never quite get with lotion, that gets pretty dry. So in the depths of winter, I might.
There.
I was gonna say I wouldn't be able to get beef tallow on it though either. So, can you dump? Actually, if I'm gonna ask somebody to put beef tallow on it, I could probably just ask them to lotion my back with some Aveeno or something.
Sure. With a squeegee.
Yeah.
Work.
I don't. You know what though? If legitimately, if it works, I mean, it's no different than any other. Like if you put on a face mask, right, or something to you do that at home, like you're not going out in it. So like, what's wrong if you had like severe acne or something like that, and
Sure.
going home at night and putting beef tallow on your face for like a half hour was gonna like clear it up? Why wouldn't you do that? That makes sense.
Sure.
It's also endorsed by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for
I'm out.
some wellness.
Christ.
Okay.
Yeah,
You really
wellness
started
benefit.
with that one, but
He has a video. I think it's.
I
him
said if it
cooking a
works, Ryan. I
turkey in
said
beef
if
tallow.
it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
If it's
I
proven scientific fact, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, he fully embraces science and
Mhm.
factual information,
Mhm.
versus speculation and conspiracy theories and so forth. He's not necessarily touting on your skin, but other health benefits as well. Not for me. Not for me.
probably
Dean,
would
is
cure
beef
ADHD
tallow
too.
for you?
And
What's that?
autism, and it would probably cure ADHD and autism too.
Measles.
Measles. Yep.
It's
No,
a fine preventative for measles. Yeah, go ahead, Dean.
If you got a bad case of the gays, it'd probably clear that right up.
Right.
No, that's silly. Your mom cleared it up years ago. So no, there was a guy that was touting this because I saw the same thing you did. I don't know if you saw like the if we watched the same YouTube video, but there was a guy touting this. But what actually all of you should listeners and I guess you two should do is be aware and listen to both sides, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because as soon as you read this, your brain immediately goes horseshit, right? And you dismiss it, which a lot of stuff like this is kind of the same horseshit, but there are some factual stuff, but it's hidden deep, and that's what these people do is they glam onto that small piece of could be truth and expand it to a ridiculous level, right? I was what do the Robert F. Kennedy, I watched that video, right? And the dude that was debunking him, because I watched, I didn't click on a Robert F. Kennedy video. I was clicking on the video to hear him and then hear the debunk. And he's talking about what did he say? It has this health benefit, that health benefit, and there's no way to prove any of that, right? I mean, it's all speculation. And the guy that I was listening to goes, there's only one surefire fucking way of proving health and rejuvenation of your life. And that's with Blake Insurance. Because Blake Insurance Group is an independent agency located right here in Barberton, Ohio. Ohio. They're offering personal care with support for all of your insurance needs. If you need auto, home, business, life insurance, give Aaron a call. He'll meet that and honestly everything you possibly need. You want to call 234-571-5359 or visit BlakeInsuranceLLC.com for your free 5-minute quote today. And when you do that, he's not going to give you the horse shit that you're hearing on the internet. He's going to give you the truth, the facts, and savings right in your face.
That's right. And Aaron may or may not use beef tallow in his hair, I hear. Not sure.
Well, his hair is beautiful.
I think it looks so great.
Very shiny.
Yep.
Perfectly
very
quiet.
nice.
Luxurious.
That's right. AI assistants, AI helpers, guys. So apparently the next generation of AI, some people are developing AI agents. So these are AI systems that can automatically come up with a plan and execute it at your request. They can take the form of a shopping assistant, a video gaming coach, or even perhaps a fully driving self-driving car, fully self-driving car, right? So you might be able to assign a future AI assistant various tasks.
So you're like, hey, AI bot, I go to visit my mother on Sundays and then go to the grocery store, and then I have to go this and here. Give me, map out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give me the best plan for it. Is that what you're saying?
You can map stuff out apparently like that. You can summarize work meetings. You can book a flight. You can sign up for exercise class, serve as a health coach.
Will it do the function of it? Like if you go,
apparently,
today I need to, let's say I need to pay these 3 bills and also book a flight or whatever. Will it just do the things? And then
I guess it depends what it's going to integrate with. It doesn't say about paying bills necessarily, but that could be something that's maybe something in the future. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's going to have integration into different types of things. So it does say book a flight, though. Sign up for an exercise class or what have you.
Give you the times for when to do this, that, the other to get to
I'm guessing you probably. It sounds like it could be something where someday you'd be say, book me a flight on whatever airline to Florida at whatever.
Sure.
It probably just goes in and does all the reservations and uses your information, that type of thing. So some people say that's great. It'll be a nice convenience. Some people say, if you rely too much on these things, are you going to lose some of your own,
Autonomy.
critical thinking skills, your time, what have you? I don't know. I
Like,
know that go ahead.
I like to not only masturbate, but like finish at like a certain point at the 6 o'clock local news here in Cleveland. Could I ask that to like plan out, a process to where I finish at the proper moment that I'd like?
Or a proper algorithm of videos that'll get you there at by 6.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So like Dean's like, I need to finish up in the next 3 minutes. It just like works in like the grainy videos. You know what I'm saying? Just automatically, that type of deal.
It'd be like the same. You ever listen to a playlist and just out of random, the algorithm just hits the right song at the right time? And you're like, yes, that's what I needed to fucking hear right now. It'd be like
I have never not heard the peak of Panama and not come.
Sure. There you go. So what do you guys think of AI assisted? Do you like the idea of being able to
if it can
device?
get me to come on time, I think I could be on board.
I agree totally. That's where I'm at.
You know how many, when you compile it, probably years of my life wasted on extra masturbating that didn't need to be done. You're basically, it's giving you the gift of time.
Yeah. So much productivity.
It's going to tell you how to hold it, what to watch, where to have like the certain twist of the wrist. Dude, if it could like do me the play-by-play to like finish at the moment I need to, fuck, I'm all about it, baby.
Yeah. No, that's fine. So what about the other stuff? Like, what do you like? Do you like the idea of being able to have like a virtual assistant?
Other stuff. Yeah, what other stuff?
I don't know. Like booking a flight, telling it to do be able to tell an assistant to do something. Take a note here, and it would transcribe notes. And it listens to a work meeting, it transcribes it for you. It takes notes.
No, let me tell you why. Because we're not there yet. We all were promised since like 1985 to have Kit from Knight Rider run our life, and then we got Jarvis in the movies for fucking Tony Stark creating Jarvis to help run our lives, and that is all horseshit that we were promised and we don't have. Until you get to Jarvis or Kit, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in the prototype. I'm not interested in the beta system. No. Let me know when Kit is ready to talk to me and help me with my life, or Jarvis. Until then, fuck y'all.
Okay. Nick, what do you think? Virtual assistant, what do you think?
No, don't want it. Don't actually, and the closer it gets to being ready, the less I want it.
What if they use my voice?
What's that? Yeah, I like, because of what you said, Brian, that like the people losing critical thinking skills and so we're already so much dumber than we were before. Like we can't do
this. You are
so many things. Like there's so much that the generations before us could do and had to figure out for themselves that like we simply don't have the literacy for anymore. And so like, I hate to. This comes coming into my late 30s and early 40s now. I'm having these boomer takes on things where I'm afraid of technology.
Nick, right up there, that cloud, yell at it.
Yeah. No, it's just for example, like if you can tell AI to make you a resume, and everybody can do that, and it all comes across the same. I don't like that I'm on the same playing field as other people who might apply for the same job that I want, but maybe are, if our AIs are writing the same resumes, I don't like that it's making us sound the same. If I'm more qualified or I'm more well-spoken, or if I can present better in a way that is a human way to somebody. And it's not just that. With all of these things, and while it is amazing and the technology is very cool, and would it make our lives simpler? Yes. But there's so much about it that I fear would make things over time is just going to make us lazier and more dependent on things. And I don't know. I think that we need, like, there are skills that I wish I had. We talk about the way people used to travel and use maps and an atlas and stuff. Like,
Oh boy, yeah.
I can't. Fucking
Dude, I fucking put something in my GPS and it said travel north on, Main Street. I'm like, how in the fuck do I know what north is? I'm not Magellan.
I'm with
Christ.
you too. Yeah.
Right. Now, granted,
Just
there's
tell me
a
get
compass
left or
app on
right.
your phone, but
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Left or right.
like, you know what I mean?
know
Just
that.
simple shit like that, and that's very simple. Like, people had to learn how to do that shit if you wanted to go anywhere. It was just that simple. So yes, GPSs and things, and MapQuest before it, turn by turn directions from a computer made things so much simpler. But if everything goes dark one day, I can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not.
I'm
There's a
dead
lot of
within
the AI thing.
2 days.
Yeah, and I understand how we're progressing and how it's exciting to have this technology, and it is fascinating and crazy. But we've already proven as a society and as a species that we can't handle that kind of power or technology and use it responsibly. So it's just going to end up, I feel like, leading to our irrelevance and in just how. I don't know. That's just kind of the way I view it. And that, like I said, that could be a very old man take on it, and I don't know, and maybe it won't get to that, but it's anything I've seen in my lifetime is not encouraging.
Nope.
So, Brian, you're the oldest of us. How do you feel about that? Like, would you use something like that?
It just
you're
depends what it's for. I mean, I
You're
guess
more of a, hipper, older gentleman. You're the reason this podcast happens, for example. So,
Sure.
I'm with you with GPS. Without GPS, I can't get anywhere. I could barely get down the street, without something, some type of map, that type of thing. But for the assistant stuff, I would just have to understand what it would all do. I mean, it would make me paranoid that I'd be checking like 100 times. If I asked something to book me a flight,
yeah, right.
I don't know that I would trust that
You'd
it's
still
actually
do
happened
the
unless
process
I could see a
just to
ticket.
check.
Right.
So what's
Exactly.
the point of like having something else booking it if you're
Right.
going to do the effort to check and check
You
again?
may as well just book it yourself at that
Did
point.
my flight to California go through? Am I going to? Is it going to send me to Albania because I didn't check? I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Exactly. So it would take some time to get used to and trust it, but I don't know. I guess I don't understand what it would do. Things are good, but it's going to keep evolving, man.
Yeah.
I know, like the Amazon device. There's one behind me. I don't want to say the name. That is evolving, and I did sign up for the advanced version of it that's coming soon. So basically, it's going to be like the Google Assistant type deal. You'll be able to talk to it, and it'll be more conversational and stuff like that. So I'm interested to try stuff like that out.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, but whether we like it or not, I mean, it's just going to continue to evolve.
Oh, for sure.
I think if you're going to get to the point of like acceptance, for me, I understand that, like you said, Brian, that what's coming up is the bot that's going to be conversational.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, yeah, you see the commercials on TV about like how conversational it could be, but I mean, until I actually experience it, I don't believe that shit. I mean, because honestly, that's an actor.
Yeah, that Google thing's a trip. I've seen that commercial too.
Yeah,
that Google Assistant's like, is that really what it does?
No, that's an actor, responding. I'm not saying that it's far off, but until I experience it, I'm skeptical. So, yeah, I don't trust the commercials. I don't believe what it can do until 10 years ago, if you told me that you could say out loud, hey, whatever, and it would like pull up your favorite song, I wouldn't have believed it.
Right. That's true.
Here we are. So until it's actually a thing, I'm skeptical.
Yeah.
And ultimately, as this stuff keeps evolving, like if it becomes like the norm and just culturally everyone's doing that, because I like in my head I'm thinking of, like Brian said, booking a flight, and I'd be like double checking it and whatever, and I'd be a little concerned. I'm like, because if it's gonna book a flight for me, it has to have my information. Like
Right.
what else
Oh,
can
yeah.
it do on its own with my
Your
stuff?
fucking
But then I'm
Apple
like,
wallet type shit has.
but then I
all
was gonna say, like,
Sure.
literally all my shit is in my phone, so I can pay bills easier. I mean, yes, I'm pushing the submit button, but it's the same thing.
all you
It's
have
just
to all you have to do is have your phone be that Jarvis, right?
I would say I would think that that's coming. I think there'll probably be an app. That I would imagine there'll be like a
It's
banking
your
app at some
everything.
point.
Right.
Yeah, and you say whatever Chase Bank pay, Brian's car payment, whatever, and it'll just go.
Yeah.
What
All
would
it's
you
going to
name your
happen.
AI robot? Like Kit or Jarvis, what would you name your AI robot? It like helps you with like everything in your life. That's your like life butler.
Yeah,
Pugsley.
Twiggy.
Twiggy.
Twiggy from
Yeah.
Buck Rogers, the robot.
Sure,
There you
sure.
go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mine would be Jen. Anyways,
Very
let's
nice.
move on. Let's move on.
Federal prosecutors, away from AI for a minute here. So maybe this guy used AI to stay ahead of something here. But Carl Eric Rinch is now in some legal trouble. Federal prosecutors charge him, he's a filmmaker, with stealing $11 million from Netflix. So he was contracted back in 2018 and 2019. Netflix paid him, his company, Rinch's company, $44 million to produce a show called White Horse, which was going to be a science fiction series about artificial humans, apparently. But in March 2020, they sent his company an additional $11 million after he claimed the initial amount was not sufficient to complete the series. And then turns out that the show was never produced to begin with. And the guy spent money on cars and watches, etc. So now he's in a bit of
etc.
legal
Bitches and
trouble.
blows.
Yeah.
Right.
It's that type of stuff to me is fascinating, to where it's like, it's not like, I mean, it's a lot of money, obviously, to think that you could somehow receive that much money to produce something and not produce it, and think that you can get away with it and just buy a bunch of stuff, is really, the mindset's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
Like no one's
we
going to come back for it, or like you're not going to owe it back or anything.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah. Do you want to say something?
I don't think it starts with like a whole plan to like deceive, Hollywood. It probably starts out with like somebody going, huh, what can I get away with? And then they get past that point and they go, oh, okay. How much farther can you go? And then they get past that point, with the deception and the lies, and then sooner or later they get to a point where like, oh shit, I can't turn back. I can't admit it. So I'm stuck and I just have to keep going until whatever.
Yeah.
I would think that's how a lot of that happens.
Yeah, he made some purchases and investments. So maybe he was thinking, if I take some of this and invest it,
sure,
it'll make money.
Because
and
at
I
a
could
certain
keep
point,
the difference.
That. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's like,
I'm going to double the money that I lost.
Maybe I actually can do this, because like I've talked to enough people in the industry, maybe I can actually do. And then he gets like way above his skis. He gets way above, reality, until it falls down.
Is above his skis a term?
Yeah.
Is that a saying?
Yeah.
He gets above his skis?
Yeah, look it up. It's true.
Is it?
It's right next to "I don't have a bear in the fight," as far as common
Oh,
saying. Yeah.
right. That's like an old timey saying. And you were
Above
like
his skis.
32. Yeah.
Okay.
God
All right.
damn it.
Mhm. Well, we were given back in 2020 not $11 million, but we were given $11 by
Yeah.
Blake Insurance to read a read on every show,
No, we
whether
were not
it's
given
good or
any,
not so good.
We were not
And
getting any money
Yeah.
by Blake Insurance.
kind of, but it wasn't in cash. It wasn't in the form of cash.
There was no
Yeah,
cash.
Yeah, we were paid in beef tallow,
We were
ladies and
paid.
gentlemen.
It was a moral
Yes.
payment.
burgers and stuff. Yeah.
Symbolic moral payment.
Yes. But we were not handed any money by Blake Insurance.
So coffee giant Starbucks, here guys, has been ordered to pay. This stuff is just amazing. Another more lawsuit stuff. Starbucks was ordered to pay $50 million in damages to a delivery driver who was burned by hot tea.
Oh, I saw this.
That wasn't properly secured and spilled into his lap. Okay.
Mm.
So on March 13th, a Los Angeles jury gave plaintiff Michael Garcia the multi-million-dollar award after he sued Starbucks for past and future damages after
And
suffering
future.
Yes, permanent
Sure.
disfigurement to
If your
his
dick
penis.
gets burnt and you can't work it anymore, that's damage.
Yep. So his legal team said the experts testified that he could not have done anything to avoid the injuries, and ultimately the jury found Starbucks responsible.
Why?
Well, I
What-
have more penis questions. Wait a minute.
Sure.
How can they confirm his penis was disfigured? Was there record of his penis being normal before?
Ooh, good
in
point.
his medical record or something
point.
like that. So
Maybe he was just uncircumcised and they
He
didn't
had
know.
like he was uncircumcised and it burnt the fucking ridge off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The protective turtleneck
Mm.
layer.
well,
Gone.
it's so they've had on video as well. So apparently, he came
His
into the
dick?
window. Huh?
They have his dick on video?
No. This they had the barista. So
Oh.
he was working for Postmates at the time. He entered a Los Angeles Starbucks drive-thru, ordered 3 venti medicine balls, which is the coffee chain's honey citrus mint tea that includes steamed lemonade and hot water and other ingredients. So the barista could be seen
I
placing
think
3
anybody
beverages in
should
a
be
drink.
like put in jail that like had anything to do with like naming that shit.
Yeah. A medicine ball. Yeah, I guess so. So the barista put it in the drink container, handed it to him. Soon after taking hold of the order, 1 cup fell and spilled hot tea directly into his lap,
Mhm.
who could be seen in distress before accelerating his car out of frame.
Mm.
So he was taken by paramedics to the emergency after being treated for 3rd-degree burns to his penis, groin, and inner thigh. So that would hurt.
Sure.
So his treatment including 2 skin grafts, and his life has been forever changed,
What
according to his attorney.
a skin graft, normally you're pulling a piece of skin from a point of the body and putting it onto the damaged area, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What body part is the equivalent to your penis? Say the top of your penis, the neck per se, is damaged and you need to replace the neck skin.
Mm-hmm.
Where in your body do you pull it from?
Forehead.
There you go.
Forehead.
That's where they get the term
You would-
dickhead. You
Yeah.
understand?
All
Mhm.
right. All right.
Okay.
I get that.
Mhm.
Foreskin. Get it? Foreskin.
Yeah.
Foreskin.
Come on, man.
All right.
Figure it out. Use your foreskin. Figure it out. Come on.
Yeah.
Apologies.
Yeah.
I've been proven wrong.
So the
So-
incident happened during the handoff, eh?
Apparently, she handed him, and something happened where he took it. We don't know. I don't know if you know exactly what happened. but one
Okay.
of them spilled into his lap. It was hot,
Okay.
and it
This-
burned him. There you go. So
This is
you've
simple.
heard these before. You've heard these things before.
Sure.
When, hot coffee at McDonald's, and
Yeah.
some people have won some big lawsuits. So
I thought it was settled back in like the late '90s when that shit happened to that lady in McDonald's.
This
that
is
was in
much different though.
'92.
How?
So she won $2.7 million at the time from McDonald's for the hot coffee.
She won because she drank hot coffee and burned herself.
Yeah.
So completely self-imposed. This is a handoff. This is a from our Starbucks employee into your hand, the mishandle. And you can have different opinions on who should have done what, but at the end of the day, this is very simple, I think, because it's Starbucks and they have all the money in the world, and the easiest thing to do is to pay this person who's been disfigured or whatever from this spill, and the company is liable for the employee on that is representing Starbucks. They're going to pay to make it make it go away. Like,
Well, this is
it
you're
what it is.
asking an idiot question. So you're getting into it now. So should a company so if you are going to a drive-through and buying a hot beverage, right? Do you assume some risk and responsibility that things can happen and you may get burned by the hot beverage? Should the company be liable? I mean, clearly it's the one legal cases, but should the company be liable if there's an accident and you spill a hot beverage on yourself and hurt yourself? So, no. So, Nick, you say no.
No,
the company should not be liable.
The company should not be liable because it is, like you said, there is. Let's just do some basic day-to-day life risk assessment. There are things that can hurt you. If you drive a minivan to work, and then your friend drives a crotch rocket to work, they are taking risk. You're both using a means of transit to work. However, one of you is choosing a much safer path. One's not right and one's not wrong. It's just literally one is way more dangerous than the other one should you be in an accident or anything else were to occur. So you are, as the motor vehicleist, assuming the risk. So should they be responsible? No. But what I meant earlier when I said that it's simple is that I see what happened. You know what I mean? Like, it was during a handoff. Like I said, the McDonald's thing, everybody looks at that, and it was ridiculous. Like, literally, they sold a hot coffee to a woman at McDonald's. Woman takes hot coffee, goes and drinks it, and burns the shit out of herself. Self-imposed. She's putting it to herself, right? This is trickier because it happens during the handoff. So employee employed by Starbucks, representing Starbucks proper at large, is handing, and whether or not it was a good handoff or the person didn't have it well enough or whoever's fault it was, this is what happened. It led to penile disfigurement, or what the fuck ever you want to call it. And now
good band name, by the way.
And right, penile disfigurement. And Starbucks has the money to pay for that, so they did so. But where it gets tricky, so like stupid coffee lady, because of that, we now have to literally emboss into the plastic lids, caution, contents may be hot.
Dude, that
we are all covering our bases.
That was placed on that in the '90s when that should happen in McDonald's.
So maybe it's just a sign on every delivery window that, like, hey, dipshit, it's on you if we hand you a cup that you handle it correctly. If you can't handle that, come inside and we'll give you one of those like cardboard carriers and you can take it out. We will set it on the counter and you can, or, I mean, I go to Starbucks all the time. There's a little delivery window. There's a tiny little desktop thing on the window. Set it on the window, cover your ass, let them pick it up from the window. If they spill it on themselves, that's 1,000% on them. Is it dumb that we have to even talk about that? Yeah. But like, let's face it, this guy gets penile disfigurement, and then the next guy's like, I want to disfigure the shit out of my penis. And then he's going to go to Starbucks and be like, whoa, you handed it to me wrong. Oh, no.
That's right. Yep.
I mean, will people try to take advantage of a situation? Absolutely. But it's stupid. So no, they should not be liable. You should know that you are taking a certain amount of risk be aware of that. If it's hot, be fucking careful, dipshit. If it's not, like, whatever. It's just, yeah. No, they should not be responsible, in my opinion, but I see why they took responsibility in this situation. Because it's a he said, she said kind of thing.
Yep. Well, they had to. The jury won. They awarded it in his favor.
Fight it?
Right.
It was they tried not.
It was a legal.
Okay.
It was a court. It was a legal.
He won.
So they did fight it. So they did go to court, but they were awarded it legally.
Either we practice. At Starbucks, we all have the ledge. As an employee, part of your training is you do not hand a customer anything hot by hand. You put it on the counter and let them grab it. That's on them. Or we post something clearly on the window.
That's
any contents of any drinks that we hand you. But then the employees start chucking hot drinks. Well, that's on you, kid.
I was actually wholeheartedly on board with you, Nick, until you just said that. Now, I guess I have to play devil's advocate. Now, you honestly have to look at, because yes, I agree with you. It is human fucking stupidity to grab something hot and go, it's fine, and whatever happens. Of course, I agree with you. But what you just said there, as in liability, you need to go through the actions of like the hiring system and like the training videos or verbal training that happens. Because like if there's training saying, like you said, hold here, or however they say it, it is telling them to do it in a certain way. So if Starbucks in their training tells them hold it here, hand it this way, that way, and the barista did it, and this lady fucking spilled it or whatnot, that's not on the barista, or it's not on Starbucks. So to play devil's advocate,
sure,
if that is the case, if the proper things were told and said, for the company side was done to the T, and she still spilled it, that's not on Starbucks. That's not on the barista.
Yeah, you hand it careful. It's hot. Like,
not even that. You don't even verbally. You don't even say that. You've done all the physical aspects.
You're at Starbucks, but I have to say this:
it's
be careful.
Coffee, stupid.
You've ordered a hot thing from a coffee shop.
I think verbally, from now on, by law, every person that has to hand a hot cup of coffee to anybody, no matter where they're from, you hand it to them, and by law, you say, "This is hot, you fucking idiot." Treat it accordingly.
Hand somebody a cup of strawberries. Careful, it's hot. I'm just saying this to everything now. Just fucking here you go.
Fucking idiot.
Watch. There could be a disclosure at some point. Like if someone orders a certain drink, some poor kid's going to have to read a disclosure, or it's going to be on the screen, like you said, Nick, where it's like, okay, well, do you assume responsibility if we hand you a hot beverage and it's spilled? Yes. Sure. And you're going to be recorded, or what? Something. There would be something there by you ordering.
How many
you
things
assume something there? There'll be something there to tie it up legally.
Yeah,
Brett, look at all of the products we've dealt with that has those warning labels that you look at and you look past, but at a certain point they were there because of a fucking lawsuit.
Yeah, that's right.
Every warning label you ever look at in 2025 is probably there because of a fucking lawsuit, because there was an idiot who didn't know better or who had a lawyer who was really fucking good.
Yeah. Yep. No, you're right. I don't know. See, AI assistant. I don't know if AI assistant would get tripped up like that. I don't know.
Not kid.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's what I'm comfortable with it being used for. If it's being used for disclaimers, for things that humans shouldn't have to say that to other humans. Let's leave that to AI.
Don't
They
do
can
this.
talk to
Do
idiots.
this. Do
That's
this.
fine.
AI, just please, just suck
Yeah.
my dick. Just stop talking.
I will in just a moment, but first I'm trying to protect it by telling you not
Oh
to spill
my
hot coffee all over it, resulting in penile dysfunction or disfiguration.
Nick,
That's what it
my dick. Oh, did I tell you guys my AI is going to be named Nick?
was.
That's what my AI is going to be named.
All right, guys. Good stuff. Good conversation. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back with some more entertainment disfigurement,
Yeah.
if you will, in our third segment, another musical segment. And Nick's going to tell you all about that.
My balls that look like Wyatt Yoakam.
Yeah, I think it's episode 238. I think that's it. I think we misunderstood
I want to
something.
push that off a few more weeks.
Yeah, we got bad advice from our AI assistant.
Yeah.
And they said 233 was going to be the pinnacle. Nope. 233 is like 233 is like the beef tallow of the podcast episodes. I think something like that. Yeah. 238 is going to be the after effects of the
Brian has
ingestion.
No clue what beef tallow is, even beyond this episode.
I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was till I read it. Nope. Yep. All right. We'll be right back.
All right.
Right after the break.
Thank you. You are beautiful, and we are penile disfiguration. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, you beautiful people. We are Convincing Idiots, and this is segment number 3 of said podcast. I am Millennial Nick, alongside Gen X and the Zennial, aka Cat Pickle Dean, which we've never really discussed on the podcast. Why?
We don't
Cat
need
Pickle?
to.
And we don't need to. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. If you've listened to the show long enough, you know that no context Dean is the same as regular Dean. So
That's right.
Cat Pickle Dean fits. Anyway, we are joining you for our third and final segment this evening, in which you guys are all hardcore fans of this show by now, so you understand that our third segment, we like our listicles, and we like to do our personal idiot Mount Rushmores of things. And tonight, we're getting musical with it again with our top 5 favorite albums of all time. So the criteria here, gentlemen, is pretty loose, pretty basic. You can pick albums that you think are the greatest albums ever made. You can pick albums that just mean a lot to you. They could be your personal favorite albums ever made. And go ahead and elaborate on why you have made your selections and give us any other further notes. And maybe we might all just pick up a new album by the end of the night to go and listen to and tell our AI assistants to add to the algorithm. So,
yes.
Yep. Dean, why don't you go ahead and kick us off? This was your, I believe, I don't know whose idea this was, but it wasn't mine. So one of you can start.
That's mine.
Okay.
All right. So my original thought through this idea was your forever album. All of us have our favorite albums. You're like, oh yeah, that's cool. I can listen to it all the time. But there's that one album that hits your soul. That drunk, sober, doesn't matter. You are singing along. You are fucking indulged into that album, right? So for my number one, I am going with
greatest hits of Disfigured Penis.
Right. Love those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, my first one on my list is Blue October Foiled. That album, I don't honestly know when it came out. Probably mid.
I would say 2005 or 4.
Oh, okay.
Right. I don't recall ever hearing. Are you talking about?
Hate
I
Me?
guess. Okay, yeah. early 2000s,
Okay, so
2003,
early 2000s.
4.
But like
Blue October. I don't recall hearing before 2000.
they've been out since like the late 90s.
Okay.
I heard him play on I think Saturday Night Live, maybe.
What
Or
album? Foiled, you said?
Foiled. The album
2006.
Foiled.
Oh,
2006.
6. Okay.
All right. So I heard Hate Me played on Jimmy Kimmel or Saturday Night Live or something, and it blew my mind, right? And so I downloaded the whole album, and I could not. I probably played that album over and over for months. Now, they come out with like some later stuff that that doesn't quite hit the same, but Foil, that album right there, they had an earlier album that I downloaded that was fantastic, but Foiled hit so hard for me for what I was going through at the time, and lyrically, musically, like I fucking loved Foiled from Blue October. That's number one on my list.
Nice.
All right. Nick, what do you got?
I am going to start off with, this is probably 1 and 2 are toss up for my favorite album ever made. And I'm just gonna go ahead and start with it because it came out first, and it truly, as a child, blew my mind because it was the first thing I had ever heard it's my first introduction to what even a concept album was. And I might be taking one off Brian's list. I don't know if I am or not, but we're going to go and hear this album in its entirety next month in a few short weeks. Queensryche, Operation Mindcrime came out the year I was born, 1988.
Yes.
I was raised in the, hair metal scene and stuff like that. That's what my parents listened to. And as much as I have an affinity for hair metal and things like that, Queensryche was out in that time, but Queensryche, it is cheapening them to say that they were a hair metal band. They were a progressive rock. They certainly weren't glam, but great vocals, great music. I love Queensryche as a band, but Operation Mindcrime specifically was the first time I ever heard an album from track 1 to the end be a story, and that every song was the next chapter in the story as it progressed.
Yeah.
And then my dad used to have a VHS of Mindcrime Live, which was live performance of them doing the entire album. And then in the background, there was like a little movie that they shot that kind of, for being a kid in, I don't know, grade 5, 6, 7, I was probably 5 or 6, fifth or sixth grade when I first saw it, that it helped me kind of go along with the story, with the lyrics, and watch a little movie along with it. And to this day, every time I listen to it, like, fuck, it hits every single time. It's so good. And I just listened to it last week, as a matter of fact, getting, primed for the Jeff Tate concert here in a few weeks. And I'm like, man, so much of it is like ringing so true more than ever in today's world and with our current events and what's going on. It is wild. Like, and it feels prophetic, like what they wrote in 1988, and then here we are in 2025, and it's like a commentary on our current social issues. So anyway, I could go on, but Queensryche, Operation Mindcrime is, yeah, and honestly, for like the more I talk about it, I'm glad I brought it up first, because I really only picked it because it came first, and I didn't want Brian to steal it first. But it's I don't know if it's on your list or not, but I thought in case. But yeah, it's the more I talk about it, yeah, I think it probably is my favorite album like I've ever heard from beginning to end. So that's my first one.
No, that's good. I have an honorable mention, Nick. Yeah,
Nice.
That was an album. It was a experience. That was that and that concert you're referring to there. I saw that in Cleveland. So that was.
Did you? Is that Richfield Coliseum?
I believe it was. So it was Suicide. I've talked about this before, I know, but it was Suicidal Tendencies opened, which was a fantastic
Yeah.
punk, or Rudy
Suicidal
Trio.
Tendencies open for Queensryche.
Oh, dude, yes,
That's
yeah,
fucking awesome.
super good. And who went on to play for Metallica? Rudy Trio. Is it Rudy?
Mhm.
Rudy Trio that played the bass player? Is it Rudy? Anyways, bass player of Metallica played the Suicidal Tendencies. But there was the Empire tour of Queensryche, so that was a more of a a popular album then, and they came out totally unexpected. So they played a couple of songs off the new album and surprised. I don't know if they announced it, didn't pay attention, but me and my buddies that were there, it surprised us that they played the entire Mindcrime album. It was like, oh my God. And it was the videos that you talked about, the whole bit.
Yeah.
It was just mesmerizing. The vocals, the story. So yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing the concert with you guys. But I agree with you. Great album. Great album for sure. All right. Well, my first one is known as one of the greatest albums of all time. It makes a lot of lists. I think it's on Apple's 100 greatest albums of all time as well. And this is an album that takes me. It also is kind of one of your soundtracks of your younger years, where every party, anything that we're doing, what album do we put on first? Just something where it's it's a good time, it's a rockin' album, get you in the mood to sit there and hang out with your friends and party and chill, have a couple of beers. Back in Black, AC/DC, phenomenal. 1980. Ironically, it was the first, Bon Scott was, AC/DC was just starting to make it big with the Highway to Hell album, and Bon Scott dies, the lead singer. They bring in Brian Johnson, and who they go on to write an album about Bon Scott, which becomes their biggest album and one of the biggest albums of all time, certainly. So, a couple of songs there, like, You Shook Me All Night Long and all that radio just overplayed the hell out of it. So there's a couple of songs I really don't care if I ever hear them again, but the majority of that album is stuff that you just don't hear all the time. It's just a good, solid, grungy rock album. So good. If I hear any songs there, it just puts me in a good mood. It's a soundtrack of those years, party years, hanging out. And Dean, we're going to hear some of the Mindcrime together, all of us, and we're going to hear certainly some of the AC/DC Back in Black songs for sure when we see them in Cleveland this summer as well. So there you go. That's my first one.
All right, for my number two. So when I was a teenager in 1997, 1998, going into 1999, there, from where I sat, there wasn't rock and roll wasn't like prominent, right? I mean, I wasn't online, so I didn't get to like hear the random like cool new bands that are out. You are subjugated to what is around you, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I was only able to hear what was around me, and what randomly came in my orbit was Godsmack. Godsmack's debut album, titled Godsmack.
Don had that just laying around the house.
No. I think I heard one of the songs somewhere. I honestly don't remember where. Whether it be on the radio or through a TV, but like I heard the one song, whatever it was, this song, and I went out and bought the album. So, like, to me, that song introduced me to, like, reintroduced me to rock and roll of like the modern age, because like I was always a fan of AC/DC. I was always a fan of Black Sabbath, like the older rock and roll. And like, if you're going into like mid to late 1990s, you had a lot of hip hop. You had like Boys to Men and and all of that, you grew up on, which I love.
They were different. That was the new metal. That was cool.
Right. So when I heard that, it
Mall
just
chain necklaces and stuff.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it just
Spiky hair.
blew my fucking mind. So like I latched onto that album like it was my fucking death rattle, right? I fucking loved it. So I will always have a soft place in my heart for Godsmack and that album.
Sure.
Loved it.
I say Don Harvey really resonated with that Getaway song by Get Away, Keep Away From Me, whatever, from Godsmack. He had all those kids, and he's just like, yeah, he had that CD laying around.
Yeah, I like it.
A lot of pent up rage in that man.
Right under his ashtray.
Yep. He had that in the MASH TV show soundtrack. That was it. 2 albums. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Nick, what's next?
My next one, this is a similar story to Dean, basically. Like I said, just kind of we're rolling out of the Queensryche, we're rolling out of the Motley Crues and certainly Kiss and things that I was raised with. A lot of the hair bands. Not Kiss was not necessarily, again, specifically a hair band, but you know what I'm saying. That's the kind of stuff I was raised with. One of the first bands that I kind of found on my own, and similar to Dean, this is pre like internet, chronically online society. When I say I found them, like I heard a song on the radio that wasn't played in my house by my parents that I really liked, and I had to hear more of this band. And it was Bush, specifically Machine Head. Every time we would go to the Cleveland Lumberjacks games, they would warm up to this song, and it was it was so high energy, and I'm like, what is this? Like, holy shit, what is this? And then WMMS was, you heard no shortage of, Bush and STP at that time, and Nirvana, Pearl Jam were always on the radio, but Bush was one of the ones that like I really latched onto, and I bought 16 Stone on compact disc, and which came out in 1994. And to this day, 16 Stone is Bush's debut album. They had other, hit records after that, but certainly that was the biggest one. All the ones that Machine Head, Glycerin, Come Down, everything's everything. It's all on 16 Stone. And to this day, I mean, it's such a, there again, I can picture being picked up from I can feel like when I hear like Come Down come on the radio, it takes me right back to being like picked up from Woodford Elementary School by my dad in his old red pickup truck, and us going to Rolling Acres Mall to like a card convention and like kicking around the mall. Like we did that so often. Like he would just come get me from school. We'd go walk around the mall. We'd go to the magazine store. We'd go to, just walk around the shops. They would have a card convention. We'd look at sports cards. Like, and that was always the soundtrack. Like, Bush, Stone Temple Pilots, and like I said, all those bands that were popular in the mid 90s, playing on MMS and stuff like that. So, and then Bush, like, I mean, I've been a fan of them ever since. I mean, from the very beginning, and to this day, I listen to every new album they come out with, and absolutely love them. And Gavin Rossdale is an ageless wonder. I don't think time will ever catch up to him. He looks fantastic. He sounds great. And 16 Stone by Bush will, like I said, it's a real close second to Operation Mindcrime. It just, from beginning to end, I could sing every single word on every single track, and it's just one flowing just vibe for me. So we'll always absolutely adore 16 Stone by Bush. Brian,
good.
what do you got?
Well, this is a band that I know Nikki and you and I both thoroughly enjoy. Wearing them on my shirt here. I give the fireworks here accidentally, but it fits perfectly.
Oh,
on video. And it's like, what album do I think of the band Kiss? It's like, is it Kiss Alive? Is it Kiss? I got Kiss Alive 2 as a kid. I played that all the time. But, the album I'm going to pick of Kiss, the debut album, the Kiss.
Sure. Yeah.
1974. Now, it's just the album cover it's just 4 weird-looking guys wearing makeup that other people painted on their face for the cover of that. But you go back and look at the lineup of that first album. It's songs that they had, just perfected, and that made it into when they had the makeup years. so many songs from that album just stuck with their set until the end of their career 50 years later. Now the non-makeup years, they got they tried to play all new stuff, blah 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 blah, but still, but when they went back to their classic stuff, so many songs of that album, Deuce, Fire, there's so
Kicks off with Strutter,
100,000
doesn't it?
years.
Isn't Strutter that's the first, is that the first thing you hear from Kiss ever? Is that track one?
I think it's Deuce on that, if I'm
Is it
not
Deuce?
mistaken. Anyway, just a great album. And if you're not that much of a Kiss fan, you're like, these guys are weird, like, whatever. Just take your mind out of it. Listen to that first album, and you're going to hear a very solid rock band, good vocals, hard rocking songs, great guitar work by Ace Frehley. I just enjoy the heck out of the first album.
Yeah.
That's it. So Kiss by Kiss,
There you go.
1974. Yep.
Awesome.
All right. So after Godsmack, after I learned of Godsmack and I got the album, it was very shortly after that I learned that music could get heavier. Yes, I understood with Black Sabbath, how heavy music could get, but with this album and this band, it changed everything on its head, right? So when I heard Disturbed's "The Sickness,"
You fucker.
right?
Took my next one.
Thank you. Disturbed's "The Sickness," and when I say like, oh, this song and that song like fucking changed everything and it was great. No, it was honestly, yes, I enjoyed Godsmack's debut album, cover to cover, but like this was like the first song to me that was like it told a story from the first track to the last. It was the first rock album that I was like it not only blew my mind, but like it made me realize that there's much more than just like bah, 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 just fucking hard music, that it could do a lot more, and it did. And it really honestly changed my outlook to rock music going forward from that. From that album on, my outlook and expectations were changed for rock and roll music in general.
Mm-hmm.
So Disturbed, "The Sickness" is number 3 on my list.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't. Maybe it's another topic somewhere, but I can't think of a whole lot of bands where that was one of those few bands where it's like, again, this is new, this is different, this is impactful.
Yeah.
And I can't. I just have to think about it. I can't think of the last like hard rock metal band that had a similar impact to like a Godsmack or a Disturbed and those type of bigger bands. I'm sure they're
They're not playing them anymore.
I'm just not.
Yeah,
Maybe that's
those
it.
bands are there, and I mean, I don't. It's subjective, but like that's what I feel like I listen to now. Like that's why I listen to what I listen to now. But they're not. You're gonna hear those bands on the radio. You know what I mean? Like, but that's kind of the next progression. But
I'm sure that's part of it. I'm sure it's part of it. Just there's so much out there. You just have to look harder to find them and pay more attention to seek them out, I guess. But anyway, yeah.
Well, is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay, that worked good because I'm just going to piggyback because The Sickness was the next one. So this was, from my point of view, The Sickness was, this is my angsty teenage years, right? And this is like, I'm loving, the music I'm raised on with Queensryche, and I'm finding my own bands, and I love the grunge scene and Bush and stuff like that. And then, like Disturbed is a whole different thing. Like I don't remember. It's funny. I think, because I used to always watch like the VH1 or MTV countdown things in the morning, and Down with the Sickness was a big hit at the time, and Stupefy had been on some soundtracks, and I'd heard the song and stuff like that, and it just stuck with me. So the next time I had $20 and I went to Coconuts or where the fuck ever to buy a CD, I was like, I'm getting that Disturbed album, and yeah, man, like you said, it's kind of same for me. I mean, it's kind of, I don't think of Disturbed as like a gateway into, but I mean I guess everything all these big albums are a gateway into where I am musically now and what I listen to. So even though it might not be in the same realm or the same genre, yeah, like Disturbed was probably one of the first, certainly like they were the next progression in a heavy sound of music that I liked at that time. And that, dude, my first, I have 3 copies of The Sickness on CD. I have the very first one that I owned, and it doesn't work anymore because I played it so much. Um, and then I have like the 10th anniversary one that they put out, and then I have another one that's autographed by the original 4. But yeah, like I absolutely adore that album, and I don't. Disturbed as a band, I don't so much like. I mean, I try. I still, there's all those bands that are special to me. When they put out something new, I still listen. Like I want to hear what they sound like now. It's not my cup of tea anymore, and I don't like a lot of what they've done. There've been a couple albums, but nothing has ever hit like that first one. But I will always
did change.
Yeah, and I mean, in a way there's no way to not. I think over so many years, at a certain point, you kind of age out. It's totally normal to age out, and people that are your hardcore fan base are going to age with you. But for the other people that I don't know. Some people will move on, and some people will stay with the band.
Sure.
And I think what they put out now is fine. It's just not like in the wheelhouse of what I like anymore. But at that time in 2000, with them coming out, they were a big stepping stone, and they did open me up to a lot of different other music. And from there, it was all like, I mean, in middle school, it was like every single day of the week, I was either in a Disturbed, Korn, or Marilyn Manson shirt. It didn't fail. Like I had, those are the big 3. Like it's Korn, Disturbed, Marilyn Manson. Every day I had one of their shirts on. Yeah, just love that album from beginning to end. It's so good. Same deal. Just, I mean, every single song has a special place in my heart and almost reminds me. I can almost like, yeah, it takes me back to, this field trip in school, or this day in my room, listen to it with the volume cranked up, or this thing, this, that, whatever. So many memories tied to that album. But yeah, Down with the Sickness Down with the Sickness is a song. The Sickness proper is just the name of the album.
Correct.
Again, cool album art, very disturbing. You don't actually know what the fuck it is exactly. It almost looks like a human weird man being born or something. It's like a weird, like, you don't know exactly what's happening. And I've never actually heard a story behind it, but yeah. Anyway, just it was a cool vibe at the time, so that's on my list as well. Brian,
Excellent.
Every day in high school, I actually had, throughout the 5 days, I had 5 different faces of Nick's mom on my shirt. Different variations of her going, yeah, 5 different faces.
Maybe episode 253.
Well,
I'm thinking.
We have it scheduled, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
She could be a live guest. Show.
I would love to have Nick's mom as a guest. That would be great.
Yeah.
That would be fucking amazing.
Need that. Yeah. We need some reinforcement.
We can totally do it. She has an iPhone. We've discovered Apple devices are key in having that happen. So yeah.
Yeah, I need more unconditional love feeling. Not in a weird way. Just nice.
You guys are okay with like 2 hours of her like professing her love to me, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. This album here, so in my teenage years, I was like, I wasn't really into hard metal or thrash metal or anything like that. I was kind of getting into a couple of things, and I had a buddy, one of my best friends in the world, Todd Hammonds, that I knew since grade school and grew up with all through high school. I mean, he and I were very close. Rest in peace. He was killed in a car accident, but it was just very sad. But This is a number of years after high school, but all through high school was very, very, very close. And he introduced me to a lot of music. He was into so much stuff. He had every hard rock, metal, thrash. He had all kinds of stuff. All right, so this was one band he kept playing. I would go over there and he would keep playing. And I was like, man, this is just a bunch of noise. I don't get it. I don't understand it. He had posters of his band hanging in his room. And then one day, it's just, I don't know if this is something ever happened to you. It was like it just like a switch flipped.
Sure.
One day I'm listening to it, and it's like, you know what? I'm listening to this a little bit differently now, and it's like this is actually, I think I like this. And the more I listen, it's like, yeah, this is okay. Now I'm starting to get it. This is just good. The thrash metal, just the awesome drum, double bass work, the vocals, such an awesome album. Yeah.
That's how I felt about this podcast.
Yep, I imagine.
And nobody else.
So the album Ride the Lightning, Metallica, 1984. And if you ask what's the best Metallica album, the diehards are going to say, one day you might say Ride the Lightning, someday you might say Kill 'Em All, and one day you might say Master of Puppets. I mean, there's definitely great new albums from Metallica, no question. There's some definitely the last couple were very, very good, solid, super good. But the first three albums, it was just something different that they had going. And at the time, too, it's like, here's guys that came out, all the glam metal shit around them. They didn't give two shits about that. It was just guys that came out there, jeans, T-shirt, and just kicked your ass musically and vocally. Just a powerhouse album. Still one of my favorite albums today. Ride the Lightning, Metallica. Yeah, so there you go. Yep.
So just to piggyback on that real quick, Brian, remember we went to the Buzz Bin in Kenmore here this past summer, and we sat down, and we're sitting there, and our buddy that's with us is sitting there, and he's like, these kids, they look like children, and they all look like they have like pocket protectors, and they all look nerdy as shit. And I'm like, the first rule in this shit, the nerdier the more they look like fucking Ned Flanders, the more they're gonna rip your fucking face off. And they not? Were they not?
Oh yeah.
The fucking they technically set because they literally, I'm pretty sure, were high school kids.
Oh yeah,
but
for sure.
Were they not fucking like the most brutal? Like the lyrics, this one's called fucking. I don't even remember what it was. Like fucking peeled my face off with a razor blade and handed it to my mom or some shit. You know what I mean? I was like, that's what I told John. I was like, you wait, because like all the hardcore bands, they dress like fucking dads, and they look very unassuming. They don't have tattoos. They don't look like whatever. But the more they look like a regular fucking dude who resupplies your toner at your office, the more they are going to absolutely destroy your fucking world, and it happens every goddamn time. And Metallica was almost maybe like a trendsetter in that, like unassuming. I mean, not necessarily, like you said, just very average looking. They're not going out in a day where you had to try to sell yourself and look crazy and be out there and grab people's attention first and then play music. Not them,
No, you're right.
I'm going to slightly piggyback for my next pick, Brian, because like I have heard your generation spout off forever about all of those albums you've just talked about like, oh, you should have seen Metallica when they were fucking, in their, when they were teenagers and they were fucking the pubic hair wasn't even on their fucking dick and they were fucking rocking that shit. Terrific. Fantastic. I'm sure, and I've heard it was all great. But if you're going to talk about an album that affects you as a human, as your musical human, before there was Godsmack, before there was Disturbed, for me, there was Christmas Morning. I honestly can't remember the year, but it was Christmas Morning, and me and my brother, who is 3 years older than me, we both got cassette tapes, and I got I got Weird Al Yankovic.
Hmm.
And Smells Like Teen Spirit, which was
Or never mind.
What's that?
The Nirvana album?
No, but
Or
Weird Al Yankovic's take.
Oh, it's
on
called Smells. Oh, I see. I see. Oh, I got you.
Teen
Okay, I got you.
Spirit. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I listened to that, and I was just in heaven, and I was just fucking rocking out with Weird Al Yankovic. I don't care what any of you say. That is a fantastic album. But that is not the album that is next on my list. My brother, we're sitting there, and I didn't know what the fuck he got. I didn't understand what he got. He opened up, and he seemed excited. I'm like, okay. And then later, like in the afternoon, after I was done listening on our little cassette fucking headphone tapes, I'm like, all right, I'll play his. And I put in that fucking cassette tape of Metallica Black.
Yeah.
And it
Good album.
fucking blew my mind.
Good album.
It changed everything. Honestly, if you want to go back on like Dean's mental list of music, what brought him to rock and roll, like metal, whatever the fuck you want to call it, you take it to that Christmas morning and me putting in Metallica that my brother got for Christmas, and I had no clue who Metallica was. And it melted my fucking mind.
Sure.
And it was insane. Like, to enough to where like I'm just turning it over, reading the lyrics every time. I'm turning it back over, reading lyrics I'm not just going over and over just so I know the lyrics and the music, because it like changed fucking everything. Don't get me wrong. Goddamn Weird Al's album that year was amazing.
I can't believe you used Metallica to overshadow Weird Al right now.
I feel like an ass, but if you're talking about how these albums changed us, I have to put the Black Album because of that reason. And I did go back. You're right, Brian. I did go back and listen to their previous albums, and they were fucking mind blowing. But for me, what that mysterious album of a band I've never heard of changed my life musically.
Yeah, they were different.
Black Album.
Great album. Yeah, they were definitely going a little bit more mainstream there. I mean, certainly you had Enter Sandman and One, which you saw on MTV at the time, even. But you heard those on the radio, which that was something big for a heavy metal band to hear on the radio. But the other songs in that album, if you're not familiar with that album, there's a lot of great songs on that album besides those two.
Fucking away.
Oh yeah. Yep. And Jason Newsted, they finally let him loose more on that album, turned up his bass, and the guy could play his ass off as well. So, yeah, I agree with you. A great album.
We're hoping to do that with Nick later.
Sure.
Turn me loose.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Turn up your bass.
Yep.
All right. And so for my next pick, I obviously had to fit this band in somewhere, and it's Pearl Jam. I don't know. I've got, as far as my favorite Pearl Jam album, it's like a 4-way tie. They have like 4 albums that are tied for my favorite. It depends on what day of the week or what mood I'm in that you ask me which one I will tell you is my favorite Pearl Jam album ever. But it's undeniable which one is.
Because Brian has that same problem with the supermodels that he's slept with.
Sure. Yeah.
Yep.
But it's the easiest and most common pick to pick 10, which is one of my favorites, obviously.
Sure.
But certainly it is the introduction to Pearl Jam, similar to the Bush conversation that I had, which is there's between Black and Even Flow and Alive, and there's every song I think probably 5 or 6 songs on that album got like regular radio play.
Sure.
And they were such an influential band at the time. That album was so incredible, and it truly takes you back to that time. So that's why I picked it. 1991, Pearl Jam 10. There's probably not. I like a lot of different styles of music. I like metal, and I like hardcore, and I like punk, and I like all kinds of stuff. There's nothing that I think I enjoy more when I'm really at my core more than the 90s alternative, grunge, whatever scene.
Sure.
And Pearl Jam is at the very heart of all of it. It was the most raw, authentic music that I'd ever heard. You know what I mean? It really meant something, and it was an emotional connection to those bands. And without Pearl Jam and without 10, I wouldn't have latched on to the others like Alice in Chains and Soundgarden. My fucking kid wouldn't be named Lane, for fuck's sake. Like I wouldn't have had all of those bands that I love so dearly from Seattle and from that scene at that time. And Pearl Jam 10 it is truly, I mean, if you like that style of music, I mean, I would argue that it's the greatest album made at that time.
Even if you don't, you have to like look back on that time period. Yeah, Nirvana had like the hits, right? They were the nation's.
They were the poster boys
face
of grunge.
right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But once you get past that facade, you see like what actually grunge is.
Mm-hmm.
And that album was like what you saw once you got past like the face of grunge. Like that's what you saw. You're like, oh, that's the heart of grunge. That's why it was so popular then, and that's why it holds up so well now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and that's like there's different styles of music where, I love hair bands and I love, new metal and stuff like that, but there's certain stuff. It's like it was a place and time, and it doesn't always like necessarily hold up forever. But those bands,
that
I feel
one
like
does.
did, like, and I mean, I'm not just talking about Pearl Jam, but a lot of those bands that had commercial success at that time, you're still going to hear on the radio today, and they might be classic rock now, but they really carried the torch. But yeah, I just, from beginning to end, man, what a masterpiece.
Yeah.
It moves my heart. Like there's certain chords and certain songs and like in that album in 10 that like it's a different feeling. So yeah, obviously I mean Pearl Jam is my favorite band ever, and 10 was their debut album, and like so many bands of that time, they had a killer debut album. Many of I mean, I'm going to go see them in May in Pittsburgh, and there's not a show that goes by. They're going to play Alive. They're going to play Black and Even Flow. There's so many songs on 10 that you're definitely going to hear, and some others too that didn't get radio play. But yeah, Pearl Jam 10. Brian.
Just an album I love. One of my favorite bands. They have tons of great albums. You could pick many from their catalog. But one I really enjoy is Led Zeppelin Celebration Day.
Ooh.
So they got back together in 2007. Of course, now it was John Bonham was certainly no longer with us, but his son came and played drums instead, and Jason Bonham, and it was let's see here. It was a tribute concert for Atlantic Records founder Ahmed Ertegun. So it was from 2007. The album came out in 2012, I believe, is what it was. But just a fantastic live album of Led Zeppelin. A little older, but still just a great album. It was one of those things where, are they ever going to get back together? Let's get back together, do it. Then they actually came back together, played a full set, not just a couple of songs. They played a full Led Zeppelin set, and that was it. They've never got on stage together and played an extended set since. So
yeah,
kind of a what could have been more of, I guess, sort of thing. But they they did it. It's a great album and a great live show. So it's on video out there as well. You can find it. But yeah, Celebration Day, Led Zeppelin.
Nice. All right, for my last album here, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Deja Vu. Now, this album, it isn't the most mind-bending album. It isn't the most, it doesn't break anything of your mind or the records or anything like that. But to me, this was the album that my dad put in with his fucking cassette player in the van when every time we went on vacation. So, Nick, you asked Robin, what was the soundtrack to our vacations as children? It was Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Deja Vu. I don't know if she'd know the record, but Deja Vu was that. I went and bought it on vinyl just so I could. Hell, I would go out like when we were taking the kids anywhere. I would put that on just to hope that like they would have that little bit of nostalgic that I did to those songs when you're going on a road trip. Because to me, that is the ultimate road trip music, because I heard that every time we went, multiple times. Because, back in the 80s, you only had set amount of cassette tapes. So
Right.
it's not like you could like go through a bunch of, you have 5, repeat. So like I heard it multiple times. And so that album just honestly hits so fucking deep in my soul, from like when you da 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 da, like that first fucking song that you play on it. God, it just, I don't know if there's an album out there that makes me just smile ear to ear and like soothes my soul like that, like Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Deja Vu.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Who's next?
My last one. I've got a million honorable mentions here because I was going back and forth. The fifth one was hard.
Sure, it's not easy.
But essentially, I came down to, and the one I have to pick is, it's got to be 2004's "The Poison" by Bullet for My Valentine, and the reason for that is,
wow,
I would not like the music that I do today and ever since I heard it if not for that album. It set the tone into, much like Disturbed did in its time, into giving me into like, oh, there's heavier, like this was something different, and it got me into metalcore, and it got me into the hardcore bands and the current metal bands that like I simply wouldn't be going to the concert that I am tomorrow if I hadn't heard that song. Parkway Drive wouldn't be like my second favorite band of all time had I never heard The Poison. It was such an influential album at the time, and it reignited, reawoken my love for heavy music and made me explore heavier music. Because I mean, the bands that I listen to now are much heavier than Bullet for My Valentine, but like at that time, and when I heard it in my early 20s, or late teens, early 20s, like that was such a huge fucking album. And there again, like celebrating 20 years of that album coming out, or well, last year was marked 20 years of it, but
Sure,
it's insane. But that album is so good, and it actually that's an album that made me, Bullet for My Valentine made me appreciate Metallica more, because like I grew up with Metallica, I liked Metallica, but I didn't have that same affinity. But they're direct influences of Metallica,
Sure.
and even on that album,
did they ever say it? Because like until
they cover Metallica often, and on that album.
Yeah, I know that, but like,
yeah,
like, do you know that like they've come out and like, oh, that's
yeah. Yes, they pose with them for magazines, and it's
so much sense.
Yeah, it's very Metallica driven. Like their music is, they grew up with Metallica, and that was a direct influence.
Very cool.
But yeah, man, like I looked at so many albums, but I'm like, ultimately, yeah, to where I am musically now, like had I not discovered Bullet for My Valentine, The Poison, I wouldn't be into any of the things that I am now. So that would have to, it just became clear the more I thought about it. But that is my fifth and final submission.
Very good. Yeah, my daughter Peyton, she was a fan of them in high school for a minute.
Yep.
So I bought her a couple of CDs and a couple of things. Yeah, she had
First
some
two
shirts,
albums
a whole
were
bit. Yeah.
stellar. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just ask her if she still listens to them every so often. This album here, it's like one album of my high school years. What album give me a couple albums that represents fun. It's just fun, great music, more of a glam metal type band. But this is an album I could even right now, I play it. When I play it, I could play it start to finish and enjoy every song. It represents the teenage years, whatever, and it just transcends throughout many years. So Rat, Invasion of Your Privacy. This is their second album.
Yeah.
Get Out of the Cellar, which is a great album, Round and Round, all that stuff. But then this album here, they just took it to another level. You're in Love, and it's all kinds of stuff. So it was a great glam type metal album. But vocals are great. Again, instrumentally great, great guitar work and so forth. So again, if you're just like, if I sort of like glam metal, I have no fucking idea what to listen to. I don't even fucking know. Look up Rat, Invasion of Your Privacy. Sounds like an old man right now. I don't care, but it's a great album.
I like dudes with the mascara, but I don't know where to start.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then ironically, fast forward a few years, I was again the temporary bodyguard for about 45 minutes for Stephen Piercy.
Yeah, that's right. I remember
downtown
telling
Akron.
That's right.
Backstage. Yep. That's correct. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Do you guys have any honorable mentions? We're gonna fly through super quick. Any
just rattle them off, I'd say.
Because I have one. I don't have multiple. I have one, and it should have been on my main list here, but I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the band Aiden's Valentine. Aiden's Valentine was a band that was they were together briefly in the early 2000s, maybe mid 2005, and it's a secret list of the song list on this album, but it was done in 2005. It was it was a band that me and Aaron Blake did drunkenly, and shit, I don't actually even know. Like, we put weird shit out on YouTube or whatever. You can Google it, and I actually would be very surprised if anybody could find anything that Aaron and I did with the band Aiden's Valentine. But if you did, good for you, because the greatest album, no demand.
Very big in Indonesia.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
That's right. Yep. Mm-hmm. Nick?
Rapid fire. I don't have time or battery power to go through reasons, but they all deserve to be said because at some moment in my life, they were all incredibly impactful. Ones that didn't make the list, that Get Rich or Die Trying by 50 Cent. I got Ready to Die by the Notorious B.I.G. The Used, the self-titled album. A band called Blindside, and that album is called Silence. I've got Shout at the Devil by Motley Crue. Parkway Drive, Killing with a Smile. And, of course, Marilyn, I don't stand by him now, but Marilyn Manson, Antichrist Superstar, absolutely deserves to be said as well. Oh, and the Tragically Hip, Fully and Completely. And those are all incredibly impactful and important albums to me at various stages of my life.
Very good. More from my youth. A lot of these were when I was a kid, but Nick, Operation Mindcrime, mentioned that earlier, 1988. And some as a kid, I would just, again, as a kid, it's different because in my generation, certainly, there just wasn't a lot around. You had to listen to what was in the house, right? Yeah. So But these albums, they were in the house and they were impactful to me, and still music I enjoy to this day. Foreigner 4, 1981, great album, and shows how Foreigner was able to get in the Hall of Fame. The Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. It was a record I would play all the time doing homework in middle school.
That's a good one.
Mom had disco albums, which is one reason I like disco even to this day. The Saturday Night Fever movie soundtrack, The Great Bee Gees, 1977.
Nice.
And another movie soundtrack, FM, which you never heard of the movie? This is from 1978, and this soundtrack had bands like Boston, Tom Petty, Steely Dan, Linda Ronstadt. Just solid, great late 70s rock songs. And it really was I still love the 70s today. Listen to them every week, every weekend.
And
there you go. Plenty more. That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
We have done it. It's best.
We have done it.
Yep. Right. Another tremendous show for convincing idiots. If you want more content such as this, then you're not going to want to miss episodes in the future. So you're going to want to go to our link tree, which is simply accessible by going to Google, typing in Convincing Idiots Linktree, LINKTREE. Find us on all of your favorite social media accounts and be sure to subscribe to us there. You can also find that information and so much more on our website, which is convincingidiots.wordpress.com. So, this has been episode 233 of Convincing Idiots. I'm Millennial Nick.
Zennial Dean.
JedX Brian.
Have we convinced you that our fictional band, Penile Deformation, may be a better endeavor than this podcast?
It's probably the best. Oh, look at that.
What's going on out there, pod people? Welcome to Convincing Idiots. This is episode 233. This week, we are discussing all kinds of things in pop culture, including AI assistants. Are they ruining our self-sufficiency as we know it? Also, we're going to be talking about a big spill that's been going on primarily at Starbucks. You may have heard of it. And for our final segment, we will be discussing our personal Mount Rushmores of our favorite albums of all time. So, without further ado, let's start the show. Hey there, if you like that video, or if you just like to watch us make fools of ourselves, please like and subscribe to this channel. We really appreciate it, and we hope to see you back here.
Ham grape.
Does that work? No.
No, the thumbs up, it does something, I thought.
Well, it does, but mine, because I got a notification last time I did it, and it was like to turn this on, whatever, and like mine are gone for some reason. There's reactions. It's not really important.
No.
That's weird. Okay. I didn't realize it was a setting.
Brian took away our ability to do it. He was tired of us fucking with it. No, it's weird. I don't know why yours don't work. It's crazy.
I still have to try to think of our dumbasses. Like, how is that happening?
If you're watching in India, give us a
The fucking dumbest episode ever.
Send us a heart so we know you're listening.
What's going on here? Somebody hacked us.
Wow.